My name is Adi, and this is the Chess Climb. I'm an intermediate over the board chess player with a provisional rating of 1400. In this series, I'll be moving from 1400 to 2200, hopefully, in chess.com rapid games. The twist is that I'll be playing the bed strictly as white, and against 1e4, I'll be going for the accelerated dragon Sicilian, and against 1d4, I'll be trying the Dutch. Disclaimer, these are all new structures to me, and it's going to be very challenging at first. And hopefully we get some win, and hopefully there's going to be a lot of losses. By the end of the day, it's going to be learning curves. So let's go grab the game. So we got white. This is good news, and we're playing against Emilio Vincenti. So let's go 1f4 the bed. Wow, so this is the From's Gambit. I've not deeply looked into this, but I knew there was something like after fe4 and d6 we take again, but this is strange. So after fe4, sometimes they go for f6, we take and they quickly develop the knight, but in that we go for knight f3 anyways, and we try and play e3 as quickly as possible. So let me just take. And I'm very sure it may have been that my opponent immediately moved e5 anyways. So this, the only move here is g3, which needs to be played. There's no other way to protect the check. So I've seen a system like this before. So knight f3 is very thematic, but after knight f3, and well, there's no. So let's play knight f3. I've once had this in a blitz game. So after knight f3, we can quickly go for knight c3, pressuring the queen again. So we can immediately do something like this. And bishop g2 can be played to castle immediately, where there's no castling because there's this bishop in this diagonal. So if only bishop h4 can be played, but that doesn't seem. Well, we can try and go for this now. And after knight here, we play a3. And after c5, what do we do? If they take here. Okay, so let me just calm down and calculate. I think this should be much better for white now. Well, if we try to move the knight to h4, there's a checkmate on f2. So that is not possible. So I can prepare e4 with d3, which is a very thematic idea in the bed, is to play d3 to strike with e4. If e4, queen takes e4, queen takes queen e2, we just trade, and I don't think we lose our pawn advantages. So let me try d3. And if e4, the knight here is now hanging because the queen on d1 protects knight f3. Maybe e3 would have been a move to safely castle, but I think with this setup, we probably want to go for something like maybe b3, bishop b2, and try and castle to the queen side. But I must admit that this is a very good bet for us. Maybe on the first move for black, it's probably just pre-moving. So if e4 now, where does the queen move to? What to do? Well, if e4, let's say e4, queen here, and after this now, knight d5, I think king d8 is the only move. Yeah. I think e4 is very nice in this kind of structure. I would just want to push back the queen because we cannot move the knight without blundering checkmate on f2. So let me play e4. I'm thinking queen g4, bishop d2 anyways. So let's play e4. Well, that move I saw, if only there was something like bishop h3, but there's none. Knight d5 seems too direct, but even after knight b5, there's always king d8. So knight d5, king d8, bishop g5, there's f6. After ef6, I think knight f6. And we on doubles. Knight f6. Oh, yeah. I think I saw something now, which is probably f6. So let me take it again. Let's say knight d5. Maybe there's something even much better. But I'm thinking after this here, queen takes here, bishop f4. And the only square for the queen is to go to e7. And after e7, knight d5. Well, that's not the only square. The queen can always come to d4. So let me show this again. Apologies for arrows. Too many arrows, I guess. So knight g5, queen takes e5. And I'm thinking bishop f4. The queen can come to d4, which there's no way to challenge the queen. Well, if queen d4, what if I take here? The king takes, queen f3 check. Yeah, but there's this queen f6. So let me go back and calculate the line for knight d5. So knight d5, king d8 is first, or rook b8 anyways. Maybe something like queen a2 after that. So knight d5, queen d8. Okay, so after knight d5, if the rook moves, bishop f4 can be played anyways. Yeah, and we aim for bishop f4, queen e2 to castle queenside. Apologies for that, my phone was ringing. So let me just mute my phone. So this looks interesting. Well, that I didn't see. So bishop f4 to safely play rook knight g5. So let me try bishop f4. I think knight d4 now dislodges that. But knight g4 we just take, and after bishop take, there's always rook c, knight c7, royal fork. Okay. I think this safely traps the queen. No. So after knight g5, this is the only move, because knight here just loses. So knight g5 is a very good move. Knight g5, queen g4. I feel there's an attack here, but I can't quite see anything direct. Maybe the option is not to go for anything direct. I mean, black queen does feel trapped to me, but I can't quite find a way to trap the queen. Knight g5 looks very much interesting. So after knight g5, queen g6. Am I forced to just move the knight back now? I mean, it would have been really nice to see something like queen h6. Yeah, it would have been really nice to see queen h6. I mean, after queen h6, I just take on e7, and after knight takes e7, queen d2. Yeah, maybe queen e2 or queen d2 is just better, and just like continue the game properly. Yeah. I mean, this is just too much space and attack for white. This should be a lot good. Oh, yeah, obviously my opponent is not going to blunder that. I mean, we are still in the pawn up, no doubt about that. Well, queen d2 does look interesting. And there's no safe way for blacks to develop the bishop. So if I take on e7, I don't know which one to take on, e7 or just to take the bishop. after taking on b6, you probably want to open up the rook, and castling here looks very much airy. But if I take on here now, knight takes, there's still no way for this bishop to get into the game except like opening everything up. But there's h4 and h5. But if h4, there's h6, and if the knight move, there's probably h5. Okay, so let me just trade the knight, play queen a2, two castles. So queen a2 or castling, which one is viable? And we are getting low on time. I think h4 to provoke h6. So after moving the knight back, he castles. Yeah, let me just play queen e2. Now, my queen d2 would have been nice to just seal off this, but maybe there was something better. Wow, so he castles. So h4 now provoke h6. Wow. Yeah, it's trying to put pressure on the clock. So let me play h4 now. I mean, the queen can always escape, but this looks very, very dangerous. There's all sort of idea of just sacrificing the knight if the queen leaves this rank. Well, we are up a pawn, but we are down on time. And we have a lot of quiet spaces. Hopefully I don't blow this. But, oh, h6 is not even tryable. Even after h6, there's still h5 anyways. Forcing the queen to move. Oh, yeah. And after h6, h5, the queen comes here with a tempo. Well, that's not a move because our queen on e2 protects c2. I'm liking this for white. I must say, probably this is the third time I'm getting a very good position. Well, I've played the bed up to like 8 times now, but I'm not losing because of the opening. I generally lose because of just like, getting too excited because the position is quite sharp. So this doesn't do anything, I'm sure of that. Queen here threatens check, and after h6. So let me just castles. So if c3, is it threatening to just sack? So bishop takes c3, bc3, queen c3 check, and after queen c2, queen a1 check, and king d2. Okay. I don't think sacrificing the bishop works. Really? So if king b1 now, he wants to take on here. If I take, so king b1, now the bishop is hanging. Oh wow, okay. So takes d4. Well, I did genuinely miss that. So d4 and our bishop comes to life. Yeah, so we give back the pawn. Yeah, that's the downside of getting too low on time. So bishop g here. Yeah, there's an extra tempo on the queen. And this is not even a thing. I can decide to just sacrifice the knight. So getting too low on time. So bishop d5, and if hg5, there's queen h5, but after f, yeah, so there's no f5 at the end of that line. Probably want to play rook e8, and after queen h7 check, king f8. If king f8, well, if the rook moves king f8, oh wow, this is quite tricky, honestly. Do I just safely move the knight now? Yeah, I do feel like sacrificing. Yeah, so let me try bishop d5. I don't think this is very sound, to be honest. Yeah, this doesn't look like it works, because after hg5, queen h5. Okay. So if it takes, rook takes, bishop takes, king takes. Oh wow, I think this did not work. There's rook f1 check. The king moves. Yes, I think this is a winning move. So check. Yeah, I think this wins. So takes. Yeah, blocking d6 is a very weakening move, and I think that keeps everything out. Yes, I think this is a very winning move. So after queen f3, if king here, there's no move apparently. So rook f1 check. If king goes back, there's queen c here check. So rook f1 check. The queen, yeah, so I think this doesn't work because of, or does it work? So if check king here, do I have an entry point? I don't think so. Well, there's always ideal of this, and if it takes here, I take back, threatening rook here. Okay. And what if you just go queen, king here? What is my threat after that? And can we just safely go for this? Okay, so let me just threaten to queen. If he plays this, there's always rook f7 check. Yeah, there's all sort of idea with this as well. Oh, you can just take, which is actually very bad. Yeah, that is quite bad. I believe this. I could have played d5 first. Yeah, d5 should have been played first. Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, that was so bad. Yeah, that was really bad. So d5, bishop takes d5. And there's not even an entry point. Okay, let me just play rook here. You probably want to play d5 now. Like, just go for g4, g5, just try and open everything. I mean, we are severely down on time. I'll probably lose on time before I lose on the board as well. But where we are down a pawn with a lot of attacks, I think d5 is a very obvious move. Yes, d5. So if rook d5, queen takes d5. So can I try and double up? So if rook here, so let me play rook e3. I mean, this queen is quite out of play now. If I'm able to just double this rook, I think there's an attack. And if you're able to dislodge this bishop, there will always be an attack on here. I mean, there's no checkmate because of this. There's no checkmate on f8 because of this bishop and this rook. I mean, it is only wise if Mr. Emilio uses his time wisely here, because he's up a pawn, he's up on time. Although we are putting a lot of pressure, but this is maybe ideas like rook d6 is queen d6 is good, but if we double up, what happens? Maybe play rook e8 now, and if we double up, he just safely moved the knight. Oh, so where? If knight comes here, we just take. No, we can't take. If knight comes here, we just take on e6, and if queen e6, we take on f5, and after rook f5, we take here, and he play rook d8, and he's up, and he's still up a pawn. Well, if rook d8, there's always rook e7, and he has to go back. I will safely play rook. Apologies for that. So what I'm thinking is, if rook e8, no, I'm thinking if we play knight f5 now, we take on e6, and after queen e6, queen takes f5, knight takes f5, rook f5, and if we play rook d8, protecting the pawn on d5. Oh, we don't have rook f7. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But there's rook e5, but then there's queen e7. I mean, this was a very ugly mistake. So let me try and double up still. Maybe king c2 now. So king c2. And what does this do? So takes, we take back. Well, this bishop can move now. Because it's pinned to the knight. Okay. And after this, yeah, maybe everything is just protected, honestly. But there's ideas of c5 now, or c4, I meant. So what happens after c4? I mean, if knight d4, we just take on e5. Yeah, probably play knight f3 then. And if takes, and we take back. Yeah. Yeah, if it's not clear if there's possibilities of losing this game now. So this I saw, which was this. If knight f3, we just take. Yeah, but bishop takes then. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is just clearly losing. Because after knight f3, really? Oh, wow. So after this, I mean, the only saving grace is because there's still no check on the light square. So if bishop takes this, we have this now check. I think this is pinned now, because he clearly can't move the knight. His only option is to take on here, and after taking here, so this check, so take. So if we take here now, so takes, queen takes, and What happens after? So take here, take. So let's just decide to move. Yeah. It's equal material, but our king is quite hairy. If queen c5 now check, there's always rook c3. And if the queen moves, yeah, I think that's just going to be an eternal pain. We are down to 23 seconds. It's still quite bad that if I'm able to get any of the rooks here, so this is pinned now. So rook here. Oh, after this checks, I think that loses. Yeah, I think that's the final loss. I mean, queen c5 just picks up the rook. No, that doesn't pick up the rook because this rook protect that. Yeah, so that doesn't pick it up. Yeah, what am I thinking? What am I thinking? What am I thinking? "19 seconds. I mean, we are up a rook and is up a bishop with 2 pawns. So this, can we get away with trading? Okay, so queen c3, he wants to go here for check. So queen c3 looks nice. And if white ever decides to leave this, if we are able to get queen c7, that really looks deadly. Nice. Maybe we are fighting back in the game. And if queen g2, we just play rook e2. Or no, if queen g2 check, rook e2, queen here. Are we just going to settle for a draw? Maybe we can just try and move up. King c2. Apologies for the bad quality game. I mean, this is what you get when you play the bird. It's quite sharp. And at my level of 1500, people are not going to be like so conversant with the theory. So if takes now, that forces the trade, isn't it? So if trade, yeah, I think we forces the trade now. There's no check on the dark square. There's no check. I can't see any check. Can we safely take this as well? So if take this, if this, here check. Really? What is it threatening? Yeah, I think we just come back. There's ideas of taking this now. Okay. So if here, there's here. Yeah, this doesn't look too good. This doesn't look too good. Yeah, 10 seconds is not good. Yeah, which I expected. So this now. Yeah, I mean, there's no way white is winning in this game. I mean, there's no way we are winning in this kind of game. There's no way. So here, I mean, we are surely taking over. This is checkmate. Black really needs to be very watchful of queen g7 check. He needs to give a check. And I don't see any check for white. Or for black, I meant. Queen takes g7 is checkmate. And I don't really think there's a way for white to prevent that, except going back to bishop f7. I mean, bishop f7 has to be played. I mean, our opponent has been playing since 2008, so I'm very sure so he didn't see that. Okay, well, there's a check which he safely played. Which he correctly played. So if this now, we have queen h7, and I think we are safe from all checks now. Oh, we are not. Because after queen f7 check, yeah. If this now, so this, oh wow. So yeah, I think he has to keep giving the check. So here, what do? We just move back here, and I think this is a draw. Yeah, he needs to keep giving a check. Yeah, this is too bad. So what if we move here now? It comes here, and if we move here, it goes back there. So let's try. Does this loses? No. I don't think this loses. After bishop f3 check and king h2, there's no more checks, and he has to protect this. But if bishop f3, then we safely trade the rooks. Yeah. At least we have been able to gain some time on the clock with 35 seconds. That should be enough to convert any winning position. But I think this should be fairly a draw or losing for white because the king is just not safe. If only he was able to get something like rook e2, then that would be precarious or disastrous. Yeah, I think something like queen f2 just wins now. So queen f2 is definitely a draw. So if queen f2 and king g1, what does it do? So queen f2, king g1. I think there's no more check. Yeah, I think there's no more check after queen f3. I meant. So queen f3 expected, bishop f2 expected, or he just safely. I mean, he has to keep giving a check because you are threatening checkmate with queen takes g7 checkmate. So he has to keep giving a check or just move the bishop back to f7. Our opponent is low on time as well. So this gives rooms for a lot of mistake, I guess. I'm very sure after the game analysis is just going to show something like 50% or 45% accuracy because there must have been a lot of blunder in this game. I'm very sure. I think black doesn't want to take a draw. So with this, if queen takes, rook takes, yeah, so this doesn't work. So if we take now, what is white move? What is black to move? Can we safely just take? Can we safely take? Oh, there's this check. Yeah, there's this check. Yeah. So let's do this first. Yeah. Yeah, there's something like that. If rook d3 now, rook d3 doesn't work because we just give a check. So what happens after taking? And if king here, we won on time. That seems not like a deserving win. Yeah. So we're clearly losing after bishop f3 here. So I saw bishop f3. Wow. So rook takes b7. And rook e7 has to be played. So my final move was a blunder. King g1 was a blunder. Wow. So after rook takes b7, which was correct. And here, rook e7. Yeah, I saw that, but I felt something like rook f2 and king g1 and rook f6. Rook takes g7, check, queen takes g7, rook takes, king takes, and there's queen d4. Wow. And after h5, queen takes a7 check. So this is actually winning. So my last move, which was king g1, was a blunder. So let me do a game review and see. I'm going to be posting the game analysis. So we actually played like in 950 as I assume. So g3 was a move here, which was good. So So after queen e4, knight f3 was good. Knight f3, knight c3 was the move here, and e4 immediately was the move. But after e4, I saw queen takes e4. Oh, queen takes e4 is impossible. Wow, I just missed that. Honestly, I just missed that. So here, so this I saw, but after taking this, oh, and that's not even possible because we just wins. So bishop e6. Oh wow. Oh no. If bishop takes and we just have this check. Wow, okay. That was a very bad mistake. There was a lot of mistakes in this game. So queen g4 was actually good. And we still, this is plus 2.3. And after queen g6, h4 immediately. But after h6, oh, h6 traps the queen. Wow. So after h6, h5 traps the queen. Wow. So h5 immediately needs to be played. And after that, we just play a4 or knight takes b6. Bishop g2, and we are able to safely castles. If black decides to open up this diagonal, we just castle here. Wow, okay. So bishop g6. So h4 after trading was actually a mistake. So here, so c3 was good, and after this, I could have just played this, but after this, what happens? Takes. Wow. And if knight takes, can you not just move the bishop? Oh, because of h6. And after this, there's d4. And this is just totally collapsing for black. So takes, correct. So up until sometimes in the game, we are always putting the pressure, and this is what you get against people who doesn't know how to play against the bed. Hopefully I'm able to show that the bed is a very good opening, especially at my level, because up to some point I was playing good, but I miss the strong importance of playing the bed. So after h6, which was the good move, e5 was good. In fact, e5 or knight j3 seems to be the best, and bishop d5 was very good. I'm so proud to have found this build. So this is brilliant. Sacrificing the knight, and after takes, and there's hg5, and there's no way for black. So d6, there's queen h5. So bishop f5 check, a1, rook f e8, rook df1, bishop e6, bishop e4, and this is just totally collapsing. Wow. I mean, this is what you get when you play the bed. It's quite a very, very sharp opening. So takes here was a mistake. Taking with the knight would have been better. So after rook takes, and there's rook hf1 pinning the rook, and king h8, and with just take, which is totally collapsing. Wow. I mean, that's a motive I could have been aware of. So take back, king takes. Rook hf1 was very correct. King g8 was good. e6 should have been played immediately, just sealing this off. And queen e6, d5, and that was the motive I missed again. After this, queen c4, and king h7 was a mistake, so h6 here was alright, and rook e7 was a blunder. So I saw this, but I felt like he could just go back. And h5, wow. Yeah, I think queen f3 was a huge mistake. I'd have gone back with a check. So let's say I go back now. It comes back here, and rook f7 is just a total disaster. Bishop takes, and I just take on e7. Wow. I hope I've been able to convince you that the bed is quite a very good opening. So this we played. Yeah, so f3 was bad. So I initially played. So I played queen d3, which was very good. So king g8. Yeah, rook f7 or d. Yeah, I could have played d5 here. I rushed because I was low on time. I saw d5 immediately. I played queen f3, and there was no way for black to break up this structure, and we can safely go for something like this next. So let's say blacks decide to play something random. Oh, okay, that's a clear blunder. Let's say black decides to get back into the game by playing this. There's something like rook e4. Wow. So here was a mistake, and that just allowed. And from there, I was just making a series of mistakes after that. And d5 would have even been better here, but I thought takes. Okay, takes, and we just like go for this, and there's a couple material. So after king h8, there's just g4. Nice. So here was just a series of mistakes from me, and bishop e4 was a very good find, and this was totally winning for black. So queen d2 and queen a6 was very good. So what's the idea for queen a6? So let's say I play something random. So queen takes a2, and there's no way to protect the a2 pawn. I'm sorry if this is a very long game analysis, but this is what I like to do most of the times. And since I'll be posting this, I say it would be nice for people to actually see how I do it. But most of the times I just shut down the engine and do a blank analysis on my own, try and see and calculate the variations I saw and check with the engine after all. So here we managed to hang on. So this was how we go back into the game. So takes here, bishop takes, rook d1, yes, bishop here, queen a6. So this, yeah, I saw queen a3, queen a6, and this was a little bit of mistakes. So we could have just taken c7. Yeah, wow. So this would have been good as well. Oh, that was an inaccuracy. So we could have just taken here and b5. Okay. This is a very interesting game. So queen f6, rook this. So stepping out was a very bad option, but I felt like, let's say I played I saw rook g7 to be fair, but after queen a1, what do? Just king d2, and there's no more check, so queen a6. Wow. There's just rook e4. That is beyond me. So which was good? King e3. Yeah, I was just trying to run to the king side and save. So here, good. So wow. Bishop h5 wins. Because after king f1, there's rook f8 check, king g2, and there's queen f2 check. And if king h1, there's bishop f3 check, and I have to give up the queen. Wow. That was a miss. Yeah, I was avoiding to step on the light square because I was avoiding checks. I saw something like this where I felt like then I could have just stepped up. There's no way I'm playing something like this. And after queen g6 check and queen h3, so we can finally get here through the opposite direction. Oh wow, this is good. So h5, okay, I think h5. So even my opponents find bishop h5, which was the best move. So king g1 was good, and after this, and this was the final mistake, playing king h2. I should have just played g2 and there was no check. And after bishop c6, takes, and I just take on e7, and this is completely winning. Wow. So h2 gave room for bishop f2 check and king h3, and queen f5 was a mistake, and king g2 was safely played. Was a correct move. I mean, credit to me, I was able to find some good move when it actually mattered. So I played king h2 again, which was bad. So taking on b7 would have just been best. So this here, and king g1 was the final mistake, and this was a blunder because, let me show you again, because of bishop f3. And after queen b3 check, king h7, we have to like sacrifice with this. Apologies. Because if we decide to like step queen h2, sorry, apologies for that. Bishop c6, no. Okay, so let's say I just play something random now. And rook f3 is just clearly winning. And after this, queen f5 check, king h2, here check, early move. Wow, this checkmate. So thank you for watching this video. If